Hello everybody! Have you ever watched one of my videos and wonder how I mastered TSB Skill Builder? Well, no need for that. Today I'm showing you guys the basics of the TSB Skill Builder, including things such as VFX, hitboxes, animations, sound effects, and even more. And if this video does really good, for example, 100 likes, I'll make a part 2. But before I get into this video, make sure you guys join the Discord down below in the description, because I am doing an early access giveaway as a thank you for getting me to 5 million total channel views. I never thought I could go this far. And now let's just get into it. Now how you get to the skill builder is in the servers tab. No clue why it's in the servers tab, but let's just go ahead and click skill builder. And here we are in the skill builder. We first got, so as we see down here is our buttons. We see a green play, a normal play, a plus, undo, redo, save, load, add layer, delete layer. Those are the main components of the TSB Skill Builder. And then the settings is just for other stuff. If you want to check the tutorial, go ahead. I have no clue what selection mode is because it really doesn't matter. Move settings, keybind settings, and new timeline. In the settings, you can just go over the cooldowns, and you can even, and for example, if you click save, and let's just say I want to name this Manji Kick, but oh, I accidentally misspelled. Click confirm. Oh no. So you go to settings, and then you change it. Bang. And then you click apply. But now let's just go ahead and click insert. But now let's just go ahead and go over the first main component of this skill builder, which is insert. Over here, as you guys can see, we see a little bit of, and we see around 6 buttons. We see general, hitboxes, movement, effects, utility, and status. General is really just like a prop, for example, like weapons. If you want to make a character, if you want to make a move with a sword, you will need to use this right here, so just go ahead and click prop. And then in order to get the mesh, in order to make it whatever you want, you actually have to go in Roblox Studio, find the mesh you want to use, and then just insert it right here. Same thing with the texture. Moving on to hitboxes, we got beam hitbox, closest to mouse, grab release, radius, and standard. Most important right here is the standard. So let me just explain this really quickly. We got main, which determines the size, offset, which is basically the position. Really, look at that. As you can see, if I want to move it down, you move it down. With the y-axis, move it up, you want to move it up. And then XZ, same thing. And then if I just wanted to go back, you just click reset. Placement is, and then the placement is really, and then the placement right here is, and then what we got in the placements category is visible in game. This shows, once you click the move, it shows the hitbox. And then we got weld, spawn on mouse, so wherever your mouse is aimed, that's where it spawns. Store the value, and then store to. And then over here we got projectile. Once you turn it on, you get a lot of new settings. For example, to mouse, speed, gravity, full hitbox collision, pierce, homing. So really quickly, I'm just going to explain how this works. Speed is how fast it goes, obviously. So if I just click play, you guys can see it goes really fast. But if I just turn it down a little bit, it goes really slow. So I'm just going to make it 90. That's the regular speed. And if you want to change the end position of the projectile, you have to click this blue. You have to really move the hitbox first, and then click this blue button. You have to really move the hitbox first, and then click the blue little ball right here. You move it, just make like that. That works. And then gravity, how strong the gravity is, how strong the projectile falls. So basically, let's just turn this to 10. You can see it falls, but if the gravity is 0, it just stays on the floor. Full hitbox collision. Full hitbox collision uses the full hitbox. Nothing really much to explain right there. And then pierce. Pierce meaning it can go through enemies, and if you turn it on, there's a max pierce right there. It says 0 infinite, so it can pierce through infinite amount of people. But if you turn it to 1, that means you can only pierce to 1 person. We got homing. Homing is basically tracking the enemy. So for example, let's just put a standard hitbox. Let's name this guy Bob. He's over here. And then this guy's name is Jack. Let's just say we put on full homing. That means it is 100% guaranteed to go to Bob over here. Poor Bob, he's gonna die. But moving on from projectile, we got victim targeting. which has victim memory, victim target, all victims, hit dead, and new target. Ignore self is already on, so if you turn it off, that means the hitbox can hit you. Make sure that's always on. If your purpose of the move is to hit someone else. Victim memory, this is all just other stuff. We will move on. This is victim target means if it is on, it affects the person you hit. So basically, you don't need to turn this on for projectiles or regular moves. All victims affects everybody hit by the last. All victims meaning it doesn't only hit one person, it hits everybody else. Hit dead, it means it could hit dead people. And then new target meaning it hits new targets. And loop right here, moving on from main to loop, this is nothing really much. So if you just turn this on, it shows hit intervals and loop time. Loop time is how long the hitbox lasts, and hit interval is how long to wait until the next hit. So basically, instead of just inserting a lot of hitboxes, you can just make it. This basically just makes a hitbox every 0.2 seconds. So just look at it. This lasts for 2.72 seconds. And then as soon as we click play, you can see he is getting hit every 0.2 seconds. And then hit only once, meaning you can only hit this person once. Re-hit cooldown. I actually don't know what that is. Re-hit cooldown is basically the same as hit interval. And then stop on branch. We'll get to that later. And then moving on. And then let me just remove this. And then moving on from loop to conditions, we got bypass block 360, bypass counter, bypass death counter, and bypass iframes. Nothing really much to say here. And then on hit, this is where the fun begins. So first up, we got damage. This is the most obvious thing in the standard hitbox. How much health you take away on hit. So let's just say you want to remove 42% HP. Once the person is hit, they take 42% HP. Is how far the pushback is how far the victim should be knocked away from you. This goes by studs. So little right here, this little square. And then ragdoll is how long the victim should be ragdolled. Destroy trees, destroy trash cans, destroy benches, burn. And then this is launch. So let's just say we want to launch him very high in the sky. So let's just say we want to launch him 111.2 studs. Look at this. There he goes. And then moving on from on hit to on miss, we got end lag, freezed or slow. And then end lag, how long the end lag lasts. And then don't interrupt. So meaning that if this person is end lag, meaning if this person has end lag, this has to be on for it to work. It means you are invincible if you're hit. You are invincible if you have end lag. So let's just say I want end lag to be 2 seconds. Just click save. Hey dummy, I'm just gonna hit you just to prove it to you guys. I am using it right now. And if I miss, I cannot move. I'm really trying to move. And then branches, then branches is basically what happens when you hit someone and what happens when you miss someone. So let's just say I click add branch. Let's just make it slot 1. And then this is a whole new timeline. And then this is what would happen if the victim is hit. So let's just say, let's go into effects. We'll get into that later. And this is what's gonna happen if I hit the victim. So let's just click save. And then use magic kick. Yep, you can see the crater appearing. But if I do not use it, it doesn't appear. But if I do not hit it, it doesn't appear. Same thing with miss. I'm gonna just add a branch. On the branch, insert a crater. And this is what's gonna happen if I miss. So, as you guys can see, I am hitting him. As you guys can see, I am hitting the victim. But if I miss, a crater happens. You guys get that, right? Moving on to another hitbox. Radius is basically the same thing as standard hitbox, but it's literally just a circle. And grab is basically a grab. I'll just go over this really quickly. Size right here, you can adjust the size right there. Z, X, nothing much right there. And then hitbox offset. This is what happens. This changes the position of the hitbox. As you guys can see, I'm moving it up and down on the y-axis. And then weld offset is how far the dummy should go away from you. So let's just say I want it to be far away from me. So we just change the z-axis, and it is far away from me. But if I click reset, it is back to normal. And then conditions, this is the same thing as the standard hitbox. Loop is the same thing as the standard hitbox. And this is the same thing as the standard hitbox. And grab release is basically releasing someone at a certain amount of time when you grab. So let's just put it right here. And then after a short amount of time, the dummy will be released. So let me just test that. Look at this. So we have him in our grab. And then once the timeline goes over the grab release, it releases him. But if I remove the grab release, the dummy will be released once the grab is over. So watch that. See? It is way less now. It is way shorter now. And then on mouse is basically... We'll go over this on the next video because barely anybody uses this. If this video does good, I swear I'll go over it. On mouse is basically duration. Really nothing much here. Search radius is basically how big the circle is. Max mouse distance is how far the hitbox can go. And again, the number it goes by is this little square right there. Victim memory, I said we will go over that later. Conditions is always the same thing. On hit is the same thing as well. On miss is the same thing as well. And hit and miss branches are the same as well. Now with the hitboxes being done, we're gonna go over the little book on the side. This goes over animations, trails, beams, preset meshes, particles, and sounds. So we're gonna make a cool move at the end of this video. Let's just go with Godslayer from the new Monster GAROU ult. As you guys can see, he jumps up into the sky and then lands down. I'm going to be making this an AoE move. So we already got our Godslayer. So we already got our animation right there, and we're just gonna insert our hitbox. We're not gonna put it at the start. We're gonna time it as soon as he hits the floor. So right there, exactly. I'm gonna put it right. We're gonna put the hitbox right there, and let's just make it a little big. And I'm also gonna increase the size to a little bit on the floor because I also wanted to hit ragdoll victims. Just increase the size, make it a little big. There we go. And then let's just say I want this to deal 20 damage. Let's just make it 20 damage. And push back, let's make it 50 studs. And then I want it to ragdoll for at least 2 seconds. And I also want the victim to be launched a little bit up. Let's just make it 84. That's not bad. Let's just make it 46. That's not bad. Let's just make this destroy trees, trash cans, benches, and I don't want it to burn. It's just gonna be a cool AoE move. I do want something to happen when it misses. Let's just make it 2 seconds, but I do not want it to interrupt. For the conditions, I want this to bypass block, and I want this to bypass counter. And then bang, we got our AoE. But oh wait, actually, I think this could be a little AoE charged up. So I'm gonna Control C this and then paste this right there. I'm gonna make this a little bigger, and I want this to deal more damage. Let's just make it 35. Make the pushback 116 and make it push up even further. Make it ragdoll for 4 seconds. That is a lot of time. So as you guys can see, we already have our move. It was that easy. How I usually make moves is first make it function, VFX, and then sounds. And then basically we got our perfect move. And then basically we do our finishing touches and then bang, we got our move. So we got our functionality right here. I'm gonna test this, so I'm gonna click leave builder, and then let's just click Manji kick. Bang. Yep. Oh wait, it didn't. The second hitbox didn't hit, but that's probably because the hitbox is way too far away. So let's just make the hitbox a little bigger. Bang. Make it a little taller. And now let's see if it works. Yep. Now it works. Look at him. He's so high in the sky. With that being done, we already have our functionality working. So now we're going to be moving on to the VFX. These three right here, preset meshes, and particles are all VFX. Me personally, I like presets. So what could we do for him jumping? So we could just search up jump. Let's just get rid of this. There is this little cool thing, but it isn't like a jump. So let's just deep search particles. We got a little bit of jumping effects. Ooh, I like this one. And let's time it to make it look good. Right there. That's perfect. Look at that. That already looks sick. But I do want this to be a little bit smaller. Let's just see how it looks now. Way better. Look at that. That already looks sick. Then now we're going to be moving on to the VFX right here. You can name this whatever you want. Enable emitters. emitters. Durate, we can make this longer, make it fade out naturally, time scale, preset time life, preset spread, preset squash, and lock depart. Colors, we can use color. I cut this to be, let's just make it blue. See how it looks now? Oh wait, it's not working. If it doesn't work, you have to force the color. Now we can look at how it looks. Actually, I don't really like that, so I'm just gonna get rid of the color. So bang, he's already in the sky. Now we gotta make effects. But now we gotta make effects right here for him landing. Let's see. We got this anime style crown. We got this anime style gun. We got this anime style ground crack. Just put this right here. See how it looks? And that is not even on the floor. Wow. Let's just position this to the right angle in position. Now let's see how it looks. I don't really like that. I'm gonna remove that. But there is this beam explosion. I kind of want this. I like blue. And let's just position this. Bang. Let's see how it looks now. Way better. But also, I do want another thing to happen right here. Let's see. I like this color. I like this colorful shockwave. Look at that. I actually do like that. And let's just position this to the right place. Let's see how it looks now. Bang. Oh my god. That looks so cool. But I also want some type of falling animation. I also want some type of VFX for him falling. So let's just find something for that. Maybe like some after images. Like this. Or we could just search up fall. Deep search this. There's nothing really here. Let's just search up after images then. We got this right here. I got this right here, but I'm just gonna rotate it to make it just perfect. Let's rotate this. But as you guys can see, it's not attached to the. We gotta make it attach. There we go. Made it attached. Let's see how it looks now. Yep, way cooler. Let's just decrease the duration for him to stop falling. There we go. I think VFX is done now. Perfect. I like it. But now let's just go ahead and test this in game. Let's see how this looks. Oh my god, yes, this looks sick. But now since animation, functionality, and VFX are done, I'm going to be starting with the sound. Let's just click sound. Let's see if there's any good sounds. Let's see. We got this. I think we could use this right there. I think that's good. So let's just hear this real quick. I like that. Now we gotta find another part where we can put another ground. We can put another impact. So let's just see. I really like that. Oh my god, that is tough. Look at that. But I'm gonna just search up cloth. We could do some jumping, but I'm gonna search up cloth now, just to make some movement. So we're gonna put cloth movement 2 right here. As you guys can see, it already sounds better. As you guys can hear, it already sounds better, but it's missing the fall sound effect. So we gotta look for a fall sound effect. Hear this one. What about this one? This one? I like this one. Yes, this is so tough. So let's just go ahead and use this right here. Our Manji kick. So let's just go ahead. Bang. Very big AoE. Dealing 55% damage. But let's just do some finishing touches. For example, the craters. So right when the hitbox appears, I'm gonna add a crater. In the effects, I'll go over this in the next video if this video does good. As you guys can see, there is a crater, but I do want it to be bigger, so I'm gonna click placement. I'm gonna make the radius bigger. Increase the size multiplication, the amount of rocks, and let's just see how it looks. Look at that. See it? You see how cool that is? But I do want another big crater right here. And since this hitbox is bigger, I'm gonna make everything a lot bigger. Let's see how it looks. Let's see how it looks now in game. Here we go. Let's see how good it looks in game right now. Let's see. Bang! Look at this. And with that, you just perfected the. And with that, you just learned the basics of the TSB scale builder. I know I didn't cover that much, but if this video does good, I will do a part 2, and I will be releasing it later this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to join the Discord down below in the description, subscribe, like this video for a part 2, and comment down below what you're stuck on so I can help you in the next video.